Hey everyone, my name is Peng Ron He, licensed acupuncturist, medical intuitive, and master of Qigong. And today is day 10 of my 30-day video challenge where we'll be discussing topics on spiritual cultivation and personal development. So today I got something very different in store for you. Right now it's about 6:30 in the morning. My wife are gonna go to the gym. Today's a little late for going to the gym. We usually go. Usually get to the gym by 5:30. But today I'm going to go in and get a Stellate Ganglion Block injection from Dr. Ron Hansen. He's a stem cell doc that I work with. And so the reason why I'm bringing this up and talking about this now is because I'm not going to have my voice after the injection. And so I wanted to try to get this recorded first. The idea behind the Stellate Ganglion Block is to help people with or patients with PTSD. And for myself, I think that there's certain underworkings that's happening in the background, and I think everybody has some form of trauma. And so I think that there's some underworkings that I have that's going on in the background that's creating background noise that's not allowing me to kind of get to a certain level of peace or calm. And I've been doing Qigong meditation, martial arts for years, ever since I was a kid. And so I feel like this is and my students who know me, I feel like this is a cheat. And every time you're offered a cheat or a shortcut, try to jump on it so you can spearhead that progress. So today I'll be going in to do that. And then I'll be having him explain the process, and I might even get a little bit of footage, depending on if my wife wants to hold the camera for the procedure. And hopefully by the end of the day, I'll have my voice, and then we can copy paste the rest of this video together. All right, this one is day 10. It's a crazy day, so hope you guys enjoy this video. All right, so I'm here today with Dr. Ron Hansen, and he's going to be doing my Stellate injection. And so, Dr. Ron, can you explain what the Stellate Ganglion injection is for, and what it does, what it's for, what's its purpose?
Hey, thanks, Peng. So I've been doing Stellate Ganglion Blocks for about 10 years. My friend was the head doc for the Navy SEALs when he developed an injection of just an anesthetic into a coordination center called a ganglion, that blocks and resets your fight or flight nervous system. At this point, nobody knows why blocking a ganglion or this nerve body coordination center next to your spine actually helps with mood, but it was about 80 or 90% of people that had textbook PTSD actually respond to this injection for anywhere from 1 to 12 months with significant reduction in symptoms. I've used it more liberally over time, understanding that all of us are walking around in some degree of fight or flight, and if we put any of us in the wrong set of circumstances, we'll act like we had PTSD. So in my treatment of people with cellular therapies and trying to move into working on heart and mind healing even more deeply with people, this has been an invaluable tool to help along the way, combined with energy work, traditional psychology, and other means for people to become the best versions of themselves they can. Just looking right now. And down one. So there'll be one tight spot for us to go through where I'm going to ask you to really breathe super slow. Go down one more. There we go, that's a little better. That'll open it up a little bit. So we'll end up one more down. We'll end up getting actually the vagus nerve and the sympathetic nerves. That's this vertebral artery that's below the jugular and below and to the right of the carotid. You feeling, Jennifer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, probably a poke coming. Get this in, and I'm gonna spend a little time finding where my needle is and what it looks like, and making sure I'm going exactly where I want. Breathe super slow. Take your last swallow, please. There we go. Okay, that'll be the vagus block happening right now. That needle's right under the carotid artery right now. I actually pull or push some of the sympathetic nerves off the bottom of the carotid artery. Let me fill this space up here. This is the longest coli muscle. Feel it opening everything up just a little bit in there. And needles coming out. And that was it. How'd it feel? So expect there to be some drooping of the right side of the face, bloodshotness, or the right eye will get bloodshot, and you may have change in voice, so you're back to like age 13. Voice changing again, or hoarse voice. The thing to be careful about is to make sure you don't, you're very careful about swallowing until the nerves come back. Because the nerve that partly controls your swallowing is one of the things that gets anesthetized. You gotta be careful with all swallowing. And that's that.
So just got the Stellate injection done. It feels like a warm, fuzzy hug on this side. Like a very warm, calming, fuzzy hug. And right now I feel quite a bit of pressure right here. And so, yeah. It's different, but it's cool. So I feel pressure here in the chest, and pressure in this area. But it's all very calming. So less chatty. So anyways, that's the update for now.
This segment of what we're doing is a Pam Roden Her innovation. About 5 weeks ago we were sitting and chatting, and I said, dude, we're doing some really great work together, but there's something more that we can do for people. He looked right at me and said, why don't you start injecting some of your good stuff inside of acupuncture points that aren't working very well? And very uncharacteristic of me, I said, that's a great idea. Usually I sit and scrutinize what other people tell me to do, and this time I just said, oh, that's an awesome idea. And then I followed up with saying, I think I'll use some oxytocin, which I've never used on anybody in my entire career. To which he said, yeah, that's really powerful, that's a great thing. So when you're in this free flow and you're in the place of inspiration, you're able to be guided, cool things can happen. When you multiply that by 2 people, it's kind of crazy what can happen. But we've now been doing this for about the last 6 weeks, 5 weeks, and seen some things happening with patients that I've never seen happen before. So this has been fun to create and innovate what's best for people. Now with the acupuncture points, they oftentimes line up with where neurologic supply is going. So knowing that anatomy is really helpful. Also got to be careful for what you're injecting. Poke coming. But how deep I've been going and how much I've been injecting, because this is something that's never been taught to me and something I haven't known previously, has been a very inspirational process. In other words, I'm just using inspiration to do what I'm doing because I have no other means, nothing else to get in the way of doing it. I was just describing to everyone present that it's oftentimes easier to train physicians that know nothing compared to the ones who already come in feeling like their cup is full. And that's what I felt like with this particular grouping of treatments. I had no vantage point from which to judge what I should be doing, so I just did whatever felt right. Tell me if you're feeling anything other than little pokes and some swelling.
On the inside, those are sharp. They're always sharp.
Yeah.
This is the only one that you can say that. Because I like it.
All right. Oh, that's augmenting acupuncture points.
Yep. So I marked the points. He checks the points. It's been awesome. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Okay, so today you can still hear my voice. There's a little bit of offness, and so after I did the procedure today, this process allowed me to process some deep things that I wasn't even aware. I mean, I'm aware of, but I didn't recognize was creating triggers within me constantly. And so let's go over the process first before I go into my process. So the process is that if you decide to do this process, today is still the end of the day. Right now it's like about 10:30 or something like that, because I had to process a lot of things internally, emotionally, because the Stellate Ganglion Block brought up a lot of stuff that I was processing, and I was processing this stuff at light speed because I'm ready to process this stuff. I want to get over all this stuff. I want to be the next level of me. And so let's go over the process. The process itself was after the injection. My eye got droopy. You can see as I'm smiling, it's kind of subtle. But I'll put a picture up where my face was kind of messed up, and now it's better. And I spent the rest of the day just in alone, isolated. I didn't want anybody talking to me, touching me. I didn't want, I just wanted isolation, to kind of sit and marinate with what's going on, with the whole process of what's going on here emotionally. And there was a little bit of numbness. There's less of it now here. So the physical, so far as physical sensations, there was some numbness and things like that here. I recommend that if you do it and when you do it, get somebody to send you there, to take you, to drive you, and then also to bring you back home. And then you're going to be in a place where you don't want to talk. Well, that's my experience anyway. My experience was that I was in a place where I didn't want to talk, or it was talking to me, and I was doing my best to try to like pay attention, but I was also processing a whole bunch of stuff that was being released at the same time. And so I was like, whoa, hold on. And so I politely asked her to like take a time out so I could just do me. And then we had other things planned out, like a personal training session today, and pretty much some other things, some odd things here and there. And my day was useless. I pretty much came home, I took an Epsom salt bath, and I continued to process more stuff. I pretty much sat in the bathtub for like a good hour and a half. Afterwards, I got out, got in bed, laid in bed, took a quick nap. I had some dreams about processing things, which I'll bring up in just a little bit here. And then when I woke up, I was processing those dreams. So my procedure was about 9:30. We had some personal training sessions about 11 o'clock to about 12:30ish. We had a little bit of lunch, and then came back home and did this whole thing. So some things to look for as far as some physical symptoms is that your throat's gonna get a little raspy. I wasn't able to speak, and so that's why I waited until everything was cool. And you can see even now, as I'm talking, I'm a little slower than usual. I feel that I'm a little slower than usual, and I'm processing things a little slower. But all in all, there was a tremendous amount of internal emotional processing that was occurring throughout the day. some of the things that came up that really, I'm gonna go into some vulnerable places as I talk about this, because I think it's critical that you get an understanding of what it is that that I went through in order for you to best understand it for yourself. So for myself, something came up that I didn't even think about, and um, it's the thing that came up was me being Hmong, like my Hmongness and our cultural background and the strict rules and the society's cultural norms. I felt those were to me traumatizing, because it was limiting me as a as a person, or as an individual, as a human being, as a being. These cultural norms limited who I felt I should be, how I felt I should express myself. And I felt that there were limitations to that. And I didn't even know that this was happening. Um, I mean, I knew, but I didn't process it. And my wife and I, we're an interracial couple, and we've had this discussion about, our interracial relationship, and how society views us, and this and that and the other thing. And it's not a nice. These are tough topics to discuss. But for myself, my Hmongness, it is a form of trauma, because I'm different, and growing up, I learned martial arts because I got picked on, I got bullied, I got beat up, just because of the color of my skin. Like, let's just legit, they picked on me because I was different, and that's why I had to learn martial arts and do everything to defend myself. And these were things that were traumatic, but also these things also provided valuable lessons into me becoming who I am today. Because without those traumas, without those hurts, it wouldn't have put me into a place of overcoming myself and overcoming those obstacles in order for me to become the new me, in order for me to become who I am today. So but I let go of the weight of, you know, of race. Look, it is what it is. And I realized that I was operating from a place of like you view me as different, and you view me as less than human because of my skin color. And this is kind of how I'm always operating subconsciously in the background. And this was a super deep process that I was going through today, because I didn't realize that, I mean, I know, but I didn't realize how much of that controlled my life and controlled my perspective of how I viewed others and how others viewed me. And I was letting this stuff go at light speed. So all in all, man, today I learned a lot from the Stellate Ganglion Block injection, and I highly recommend it for those of you guys who are stuck. I highly recommend it for those of you guys who are pursuing a spiritual cultivation. You're doing these practices, you're doing the work, and if you're just stuck in the loop and you're stuck, I think that if you're stuck and you keep re-looping, I definitely set something up with Dr. Ron Hansen and them, and get the injection done. We have a procedure, and here's where we do the little bit of the cell, but we have a procedure we call Energetic Day. And Dr. Ron is one of the most gifted individuals I've ever met, one of the most gifted physicians I've ever met. When I look at him and I see him doing his work, like he's not taking insurance, and so he's not doing this conveyor belt system. What he's doing is he's practicing medicine. He's the only one, the only physician I know who's practicing medicine. Because if you have to jump through hoops and you have to do paperwork and you have to do all this other stuff, you're not taking that humanness into the healing process. And until you look at the person as a whole and see them, that their mind and their body, their emotions, everything is connected, intertwined into the healing process, then you're not really practicing medicine, man. Come on, So what he's doing is he's practicing medicine. And so with our combined efforts, we've been having some great talks about things that we're going to be doing. And I think that there's going to be more ideas, kooky ideas that come together, some great ideas. And so we're going to start implementing them. But we have something that's called Energetic Day. We call it Heart Day. And we do the stellate block injection, and then we follow it up with the acupuncture so you can process the emotions and the things that's being released. So if you'd like more information, I'm gonna put a link on the stellate ganglion block injection in the link section below. Click and read it out, check it out for more information. And then if you are interested in trying it out, I'd say give Dr. Ron Hans's office a call at OrthoCure Clinic, and I will see you tomorrow. So this is day 10. It's been a day, man. Been processing and just thrashing with all of these things, all of these angst that I have within me, and learning how to let that go is a process. I got whooped, but it's a good kind of beating. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.